When all the talking stops and the moves actually start happening, the Miami Dolphins are going to look different. That's the reality. It's not a question of if, but how much. Every team goes through it, but some handle it better than others. The Dolphins, they're at a crossroads. Look at the numbers. 26 players set to hit the open market. 26 guys who wore this uniform last season but might not again. And if history tells us anything, Miami isn't bringing most of them back. Maybe 8, maybe a little more, maybe less. It depends on how the market plays out. But if you're holding on to hope that this team will just run it back, prepare for disappointment. The NFL isn't built for continuity. It's built for churn. You draft, you develop, and then you watch guys walk out the door. Sometimes you fight to keep them. Sometimes you don't even bother. The Dolphins know this as well as anyone. They've been living it for years. Start at quarterback. Tyler Huntley, a name on the list, but nothing more. If he comes back, fine. If he doesn't, no one's losing sleep. Backup quarterbacks are like spare tires. You don't think about them until you need one. And when you do, you just grab another. Running back. Now things get interesting. Jeff Wilson Jr. is sitting there, waiting to see what happens. He's been here before. He knows how this game works. If the market is cold, maybe he's back. If someone out there thinks he's worth more than Miami does, then that's it. The Dolphins won't overextend themselves. They have Devon Achane. They have Jalen Wright. Raheem Mostert is gone. But does that mean they'll fight to keep Wilson? Not necessarily. If the value isn't there, they'll move on. Wide receiver. Every year, the Dolphins collect depth pieces at receiver, and every year, most of them feel interchangeable. Braxton Berrios, River Crocraft, D. Eskridge. These guys have had moments, sure, but are they replaceable? Not even close. Crocraft is in a weird spot. He's done this before. Signed, cut, re-signed. The Dolphins seem to like him, just enough to keep bringing him back, but never enough to commit to him long-term. If he returns, it'll be on a small deal, and only if Miami doesn't find someone else to take his spot. Offensive line. This is where things start getting serious. Kendall Lamb, Robert Jones, Liam Eichenberg, Isaiah Wynn. Each of them is hitting free agency, and Miami has decisions to make. Lamb might not even want to keep playing. He talked about last season as his final ride, but then back surgery threw everything into question. Does he give it one more shot? Does Miami want him back? The Dolphins need help on the line, but are they looking to run it back with the same group? And then there's Eichenberg, a roller coaster of a player. Sometimes solid, sometimes frustrating, sometimes downright unplayable. The Dolphins have given him plenty of chances, but at some point patience runs out. If they let him go, would anyone be surprised? Defensive line. Calais Campbell is a big name, but at this stage in his career, is he really a fit for Miami? He's chasing one last shot at a ring, and unless the Dolphins make some serious upgrades, they're not quite at that level yet. Deshaun Hand, he's been a depth piece, and those kinds of guys tend to stick around if the price is right. Benito Jones, a question mark. Edge rushers. Emmanuel Ogbah, Tyus Bowser. Ogbah's situation is complicated. He got the big contract, and since then, he hasn't lived up to it. If Miami brings him back, it's going to be at a much lower price. Bowser is in the same boat as a lot of guys on this list, useful, but not essential. The Dolphins have to decide what kind of depth they want. Linebackers. This group is light. Duke Riley, Anthony Walker Jr., Tyrell Dotson, Cam Brown. Riley has been here for years, always on short-term deals. Is this the offseason where Miami finally moves on? Maybe. Maybe not. If they don't think they can upgrade, he could be back. If they do, he's gone. The secondary. Javon Holland is the headliner, but he's not really in question. Miami is keeping him. Simple as that. The rest? Jordan Poyer, Siren Neal, Elijah Campbell. These are decisions that come down to money and fit. Poyer is aging, and Miami could easily decide to get younger. Neal and Campbell? It depends on how much they think continuity matters in the defensive backfield. That's the landscape. And here's the thing. This team isn't done making moves. Not even close. Some of these guys will come back. Some won't. And when all is said and done, the Dolphins will have a new look. That's how this works. Every year. The only question is, will the new version be better than the last? That's the gamble. That's the risk. Because it's not just about keeping guys. It's about keeping the right guys. It's about letting go of the ones who aren't moving the team forward. That's the balance every front office has to find. Some teams get it right. Some don't. And Miami, they're about to show us which side they're on.